Hey guys, it's me, Charles Norman, here again with you from Professor Q's Sports Solution, and today I wanted to do another video really quickly on basketball shooting. I got a lot of response back from a video I did previously about basketball shooting, and again, I'm not telling anyone exactly how they should shoot. Here's my personal opinion on basketball shooting. It is probably the most important aspect of the game if you want to make sure your kids can be in the game. So it's the one piece of basketball skill area where someone that's too slow, not as athletic, maybe is not the greatest ball handler, whatever else other skills that they don't have, if you can shoot, you can still play because there's a place for you on the floor. Shooting is one of those skills that most kids don't work on enough, so that if you have your kid and they really love the game and they want to play, shooting's the way to get there. The second thing is, it's my personal opinion, and I've been around this a long time, is that shooting is specific to the individual. It has to feel comfortable. To me, the most important part of shooting is up here. If you believe when you release the ball it's going in, then now all you have to do is get open, and you have to have a release that you feel comfortable that you can get off in time. But if you believe that shot's going in every time you shoot, trust me, you'll be a great shooter. And that the way traditionally basketball shooting is taught, that it only works for a certain segment of the population. Everyone has to be comfortable in their own body. We're all made differently. Yeah, I know we have the same pieces of body parts, but we're all made slightly differently. So it's impossible to me that everyone is going to be able to shoot exactly the same way, especially the way it's traditionally taught. Shooting is traditionally taught. Okay? So what I really wanted to do today, I didn't want to get that far into all of that. I really wanted to show you a product that I used to sell in my store back in 2001, and I closed the store down in 2004. But there was one product for shooting that I just thought was spectacular, because I don't think most kids get enough reps. And so I wanted to bring that product in and show it to you. It's called the Flexshot, and I'm going to show it to you. But again, I want to go really quickly over what you're traditionally taught when you're shooting, right? So one of the things is they want you to keep that elbow in straight. You have your palm facing the ceiling. A lot of people tell you that. You want the ball placed here with the spacing on the pads of your fingers, which are up here, not on the fingertips, necessarily the pads of the fingertips, but on the pads of your fingers. All right, so you want it here. And you want to make sure you have control. I think one of the other aspects that a lot of kids miss out on is that your thumb and your pinky need to be strong. Okay, you need to have strong thumb and pinky. That ball should not roll off, you know, outside or inside. That's what happens a lot of times when kids are shooting. Their pinky and their thumb aren't strong enough, and they can't control the ball enough to put it where they want it to go. Okay, so you realize your shoulder is going to get you your lift up, right? So your shoulder is here. It's going to get your lift. Your elbow is going to give you your direction that the ball is going to go in. If you point this way or that way, obviously you're going to have problems there. So your elbow is going to take your direction. Your wrist is going to give you, it's going to take control of all that power that came from your legs and your core and your shoulder going up and your elbow coming forward. It's got to take all of that and sort of measure it out for you to smooth things out for you. And then the combination of your wrist coming forward and your fingers as the ball is leaving, that rotation that you want to get is going to soften the shot, smooth everything out. And once you get really good at that, it'll make sense to you. So all those things have to be working together, and that's a lot of stuff that has to be happening. You have to have your head straight. You know, you don't want your head ever moving when you're in the middle of your shot. There's just so many rules for shooting a basketball that if one thing goes wrong, you're going to be off a little bit. So I think one of the most important parts and the hardest part to practice, when I was going through all that stuff, is this release part. Okay, you can sit and do this all you want, and you want to get that release, but the point where you're trying to get the ball up and get that soft backspin, you don't want that really heavy backspin. You really want a nice soft backspin. That ball should feel soft as it's leaving your hand. It should almost float across and softly go into the net. You have to get just the right amount of lift. You have to get the right amount of distance, and it's not that easy to practice. Just that little lift part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the Flexshot real quick. I'm going to pause right here for a moment. I'm going to bring in the Flexshot, and then we'll go over exactly why I think it's such a fantastic product, and I'll tell you why I made this video about the product in a moment. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we're back here, and this is the Flexshot, and I know it kind of looks like a leg or an arm brace or something, or some medieval torture device, but really it's one of the most ingenious shooting training aids I've ever come across. And the reason I'm bringing it to your attention is because it's not made anymore. You can't purchase it anymore. When I had my store, I had to talk a lot of parents into it, but everyone I sold it to loved it. So what I'm doing today is I'm making this video to try to convince the guy that invented this to start making them again. He sort of moved on. You know, the economic situation is pretty bad right now, but I really think this is a great product. And now that I have people actually watching my video series, I think I can help him at least make some additional sales. But at the very least, I want to try to put a little bit of pressure on it. So, how does this thing work? Basically, it's very easy to use. You can use any size ball. The ball just basically goes in this little area up here. It's very easy to put on. Once you have one, you'll be able to figure that out enough. But here's what's important about it, and here's how you use it. You're actually going to take your hand inside of here, and you're going to get your hand behind the ball like this, right? So here I am, and that's the same motion I was showing you before. You still want this same space in here. You don't want the ball sitting on the pad of your hand again, and then you're going to have the ball in your finger pads again. Everything's basically the same, exactly the same as what we were doing before. But here's what's important, and I'm going to try to turn sideways and do this. What's important is as you're using it, so you can be down here like you're going to shoot your regular shot, and as you go up into your shot, you want to lift the ball, right? And you can see that little slight backwards motion. That's going to be the spin of the ball. So the kids here, and you can do this all day, just doing that, and learn to lift with these two fingers. So basically you're lifting with these two fingers at the end. Now I know in some coaching, when they're doing shooting coaching, they'll say just the index finger, but really I think it's both of these fingers here, because for most people the middle finger is longer than the index finger anyway, and if you try to concentrate on just making your index finger your last finger to touch the ball, you'll have a tendency to push the ball over. Okay, so let's look at that again. I'm coming in here, I have this, I am holding on with the other side, okay, and as I go up, I'm just lifting up. Now imagine your kid being at home, or they're in a car on the way to the game, or they're at the game. You guys are at the gym, but your game doesn't start for another hour or so, and they need to get some shots, but all the courts are being used. Well, you can take this and just get that muscle memory, and that's really a big part of sports anyway, the muscle memory. Now, since I'm doing this on my own, I'm going to get down a little bit lower to make sure that's coming out right. Okay, and I'm actually going to come in a little bit more here, and you want to raise up and you want to push that ball out just like that, and that is actually shooting. And for some kids, they come up higher to do it. Some kids stay in here, just depends, but it doesn't matter, because what you're getting is the muscle memory, and you're getting that backward spin, knowing you have to lift the ball, but you also want that little back spin on it. I think this is just a fantastic product, and I'm trying to get the person who invented it to go ahead and start making these again. And so I'm going to need your help here on this one. I'm going to have the comments open down below. Tell me what you think about it as a product. Now I know it's hard for you guys, you haven't actually used it, and I know there's a lot of purists out there, and trust me, I had my store for those 4 years, almost 5 years total. And I know there's a lot of purists that hate any kind of gadget, and I get that. But some kids need something where they're struggling in an area. And this will help you get that muscle memory and the repetitions. And that's really important. It's always amazing to me that the people that know the most about the game, they know the repetition makes a big difference. And they know muscle memory makes a big difference. But anytime there's a gadget involved, they just throw it away. Okay, so I don't understand that. I've never understood it. Everyone's not the same. Everyone doesn't get something right away. And if somebody's struggling and there's a tool to help, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to promote that and use it. So anyway, this is called the Flexshot. Okay, so I want to make sure that I did this video. I got up pretty early, make sure I came out here and did this video. I actually talked to the guy that made it, and I told him I was going to do this video, and I'm going to send him a copy also. And I'm going to send him a link to this channel, and hopefully you guys will give me some feedback and let him know, hey, it's a great product. You'd be willing to purchase it. I think it was in the $40 range, $50 range maybe before. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember exactly what the price was, but trust me, it was well worth it. And plus, anybody can use it. If you have multiple kids, they can all use the same product. If you have a team, it's a great training device for that one kid that just doesn't seem to get it. or just not shooting well, you can always help them out. And if you're a parent, it's absolutely a must-have, because one of the most difficult things is to teach a kid how to shoot a basketball correctly over and over again. Because when you're in a game, you only got a split second. If you're worried about all your positioning and whether you're going to make that shot or not, if you don't do everything exactly the way you were taught somewhere, you're going to mess up. But with something like this, you're going to feel good that you actually have that motion in your mind. It's already set for you. All right, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one, so that's it. It's the Flexshot. Give me some feedback down below. And as always, best of luck to you, and best of luck to your young athlete. Bye.